Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tyler, and today we're going to be doing a top 5 Cobra Kai video yet again. And today we're going to be looking at our top 5 theories. Now, these theories specifically are my personal favorites, so these aren't just going to be my top 5 theories like my own videos. That'd be kind of lame and corny. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also going to be shouting out the people's theories I'm specifically referencing, and by people's, I mean YouTubers. Be sure to go check them out. All the channels will be linked in the description because these theories are fire, and the fact that they're in my top 5 theories, and Cobra Kai is a fan base where a lot of theories definitely happen. Shoutouts to them, they're goated. Now with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into the video. Hope you guys enjoy.
Hey, collecting rings like I'm Sonic. Bitches wanna party. Virus getting heavy, so I got 'em on a diet, yeah. Flex like I'm Hogan. Yo, he's coming over. Yeah, we respect.
Now, my 5th favorite theory is going to be Dimitri and Kyle are fighting inevitably at the All Valley. Reason why this is my number 5 and not higher is, well, I just think this theory is really predictable, but out of all the predictable theories to come in Cobra Kai, I definitely want this one to kind of happen, considering the fact that Dimitri's arc kind of ended in Season 2, and in Season 3 he was kind of just more so his end of Season 2 self and didn't really have an arc specifically. So now that he's with his best friend Hawk, maybe he and Hawk can train together, and this leads into Dimitri beating up his bully, because Hawk didn't beat up Kyler but rather beat up Brooks, and Miguel beat up Kyler himself, twice actually. So the only person out of the nerd group to get revenge now is Dimitri. And not to mention, I feel like Kyler was more disrespectful to Dimitri out of everyone in the group, to be honest. I mean, he did disrespect all of them, but come on, dipping his backpack in yogurt, that was so uncalled for, bro. Like, Dimitri has just been getting bullied and bullied, but then by Season 3, you know, he's a fighter now, but Kyler and him never really interact. Mainly, it was just Kyler and Miguel at the house fight, and Dimitri was out here saving Hawk. Maybe for Season 4 to kind of elaborate more for a Dimitri arc, I guess, is have him constantly defending Hawk and making sure that, you know, he watches his back, or he watches Hawk's back himself, because they're best friends, you know? He doesn't want Hawk to, you know, get in trouble with Cobra Kai. And I think if Hawk and Dimitri are going to get jumped, it's probably going to be by Kyler and Tori, considering the fact that Kyler just, you know, he was used to bullying them before, and Tori wants revenge. So Tori can handle Hawk, while Kyler and Dimitri can build up more of their rivalry, and then this can get set up at the All Valley, and then Dimitri coming out on top. But yeah, that's why it's number 5. I think it is a fire theory to make it to the top 5, but the reason why it's not higher is because this is just kind of predictable in my opinion. Okay, so my 4th theory is going to be Cobra Kai winning the All Valley. This is a very good theory in my opinion. I think it's very possible, right? But I also think, you know, slightly they might end it off on Season 4 and maybe just make something completely new. You know, Cobra Kai is kind of unpredictable like that. You know, obviously some things are predictable, but in this case, it's really 50-50 and could go either way. Personally, I do feel like Cobra Kai will win the All Valley, as Kreese now has someone like Terry to basically help him out, and Robbie is going to be the star of Cobra Kai, and maybe he's going to be conflicted during Season 4, then leading in Season 5, he's going to resolve that conflict by turning back to the good side. I also think it's interesting the fact that Kreese is willing to bet him leaving Cobra Kai and Cobra Kai just shutting down for good just if he loses the All Valley, you know? There's no way Kreese doesn't have a plan when he's making the biggest gamble he can at this point in his life. It just seems really risky on Kreese's part, and I'm definitely convinced that Kreese has a plan and Cobra Kai will be winning. Also, there's going to be 6 seasons at least of this show before they start doing spin-offs. So, yeah, there's no way Cobra Kai just loses. Like, who's gonna be the villain for the next 2 seasons? Terry? Terry's gonna be a villain for 3 whole seasons? I don't know about that. But yeah, there's just no way Cobra Kai is going to lose, and then for the next 2 seasons, they're going to have, like, a whole new villain, or just have Terry, or just maybe Kreese lies. Like, I don't know. It would just be bad narratively, which Cobra Kai hasn't really been at this point, so I don't want that to happen. So I think Cobra Kai is going to win. Now, with that being said, we can move on with the 3rd theory, that is, you know, number 3. And I think this theory is actually a really good transition from the previous one, as, you know, we were talking about Robbie. And for this theory, this is specifically talking about Chosen coming back to save Robbie. Now, this was from my homie Strife the Warrior, and I really like this theory. Like, the concept of Chosen coming back, and this is a really good way to use Chosen, who is a character that can't really be used as he's not in the same location as Johnny or Daniel. So maybe Daniel can make contact with him, Chosen's also a perfect character for this because not only Daniel and Johnny tried to reach out to Robbie, but they failed. Chosen is a character who quite literally went through a very similar arc, just spiraling down into darkness, which is a similar situation that Robbie is currently going through right now. So Chosen is honestly the perfect character to try and sympathize with Robbie. And honestly, I can see this happening. And if Kreese tries to beat up Chosen, Chosen can just smack him up. And I do think Robbie isn't going to stay evil forever. He's going to be having an Anakin type arc, being conflicted and then turning good in the end. And I think because of this, Chosen is going to be the perfect character to actually reach out to Robbie and snap him out of it. And with that being said, I'm going to link Strife's channel in the description. And as for Cobra Kai winning the All Valley, Watch Party was the first one that kind of gave me this idea of the theory and, put the idea into my head and basically me thinking, oh yeah, he's kind of spitting. So you guys can go and check out their channels. Those will be linked in the description. Now, the next theory is Daniel versus Terry's inevitable rematch. I know, one of my theories, and it's going to be even worse because one of my theories are actually number 1, but let's just not talk about it yet. Let's talk about number 2 real quick. The concept of Terry and Daniel's inevitable rematch just sounds so good on paper. I mean, think about it. He already had his fight with Kreese, and Johnny already has a conflict with Kreese, so he can battle him out. But what about Daniel? He hates Kreese, but it's not nearly as much of a bigger conflict as with Johnny. Terry's the perfect character for Daniel to fight, as Daniel still has some things to basically conclude with his arc, which is the fear that he still feels to this day back in Karate Kid 3. And if Mike Barnes isn't returning, then Terry Silver versus Daniel is probably the next best option, which I think Mike Barnes returning would be pretty cool, but I don't think it's nearly as likely as with Terry versus Daniel's rematch. Or I guess I can't say rematch, but rather their inevitable fight that was set up at the beginning of Karate Kid 3. You guys get what I mean. What I mean is basically them just inevitably encountering each other once again, and them duking it out with Daniel being an adult and not being afraid. Or he could be initially afraid, but then snap out of that fear with maybe Johnny's help. Point is, I definitely see Daniel and Terry re-encountering once again, and them fighting, which can conclude Daniel's arc of fear, which is still open and still there ever since Karate Kid 3. Now, number 1 is my first theory that I've ever made in Cobra Kai, period, and I think it's my first Cobra Kai video, actually. Hawk inevitably fighting Robbie, or the fall of Hawk. Now, the reason why I think this is personally my number 1 is not only because this is my first Cobra Kai video, and it actually did very well, surprisingly. Or actually, no, this is my second Cobra Kai video, but it's my first theory. You get the point. But I do kind of have a little bias with this theory, and not to mention, I think me coming up with it and me thinking about the scenario is honestly the best theory I've come up with. That's not to say the other theories are all insignificant compared to this one, because that's just not true. I think all the theories I listed are very well made and good, and I think they are very well possible. But I think this one I just have more personal attachment to. And now that Hawk and Robbie are essentially opposites and they swapped positions, with Robbie being the prize student of Cobra Kai and Hawk basically trying to redeem himself and be good, and Robbie showing no mercy to Hawk, paralleling the first fight they had back in Season 1 in the first All Valley, and then basically this being the ultimate setup of Robbie versus Miguel, which was the setup quite literally back in the first All Valley, is just Cobra Kai drama material, and it just sounds so good narratively in my head. And I'm glad I made this theory first. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm going to be wrapping this video up, and if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. That is greatly appreciated, along with hitting the bell icon, because YouTube notifications tend to be kind of wonky, so hitting the bell icon kind of helps you with that. Follow me on Twitter, that will be linked in the description, and share with your friends, share with everybody you know, and be sure to subscribe to Endless Requiem and the people that I shouted out for the theories, in my top 5, because those guys are goated, aka Watch Party and Strife. Go subscribe to them. And subscribe to Endless Requiem because he made this goated intro. My name is Tyler, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace out, have a nice rest of the day, everybody.